Hi guys, Andrew Polino here, and this is the workflow portion of our Insta360 tutorial. If you're watching, this probably means you've had a chance to shoot and gather some footage on the Insta camera. And that leaves you a couple of options as to where to go next. But if you remember from the Quick Start tutorial, I mentioned that there were editing options right here on the mobile app. And I think that's where we're going to start. So let's start by going to Album, and this is where the app allows us to access and edit the still photos and the clips that we've taken. For now, though, we're going to just start with any standard video clip. I'm going to use this one. This was footage of an outdoor protest rally. All right, so we're going to go down the options sort of from top to bottom. Skipping the upper left one, that's the back button. All right, next to the back button is our edit features, and there are a couple of options here. There are filters, these little Instagram-style presets here. Speed, you can control the speed of the camera going from twice the speed all the way up to 64 times its speed, and that's generally most beneficial if you're doing a 360 time-lapse. Trim, which allows you to kind of set in and out points from the raw footage if you want to export specific clips. Adjust, these are sort of photo filter features. You can control the exposure, the color temperature. And last but not least is music, where whether you use stock music or licensed stuff that you have transferred to your iPhone, you can export a 360 clip with background music. All right, and hit the check mark on the right corner there if you want to save the changes. And next to that is Share. The community will basically upload your pic or video onto Insta360's website. The Google Street View, which will location tag the footage and send it to Google Street View app. Link, as far as I can tell, also uploads it onto the Insta360 community, but converts it to an easy shareable link. And the most crucial one that you're going to want to know is Album, because Album will allow you to either do it as a fixed frame or as a 360 video. This will allow you to download the clip from your computer directly onto your iPhone's memory. And from there, you can upload it to whatever social media network or channel you want. There are certain features that you can add on to the clip after the fact. Flow state stabilization is kind of like object tracking based stabilizing. Optimized stitching, that's something that we'll focus a little bit more on the computer program, because I want you to be able to see what that looks like in real time. But basically, if you are playing back the video and you see flaws in the stitch, this kind of allows you to set up a keyframe from which the app can reconfigure how it's stitched. All right, and beyond that, here are a couple of playback options. You can control the screen resolution that you're looking at it in, whether you're viewing it in free capture mode, top to bottom, or standard 360. And of course, you can play it back and see how it all looks. And so those are the editing features for the 360 app. Now, if you're editing multiple clips or different stills or time lapses together, then you're going to want to transfer these clips from the camera or the phone onto your computer and your editing software. And let's take a look at how to do that.
So, let's take our SD card out of the Insta, slot it into our card reader, and plug it into our laptop. All right. Now, as you'll see, the Insta camera saves all content into its own file format. We've got INSP for still panoramas and INSV for video. One thing I should point out is that if you use the mobile app to edit the clip, like if you downloaded the clip from the camera onto your iPhone and then edited it on the app, you can plug the iPhone into your computer using our Lightning to USB cable. And if you look through your files here, you'll see that the video file that you worked on has already been converted to MP4. If you edit using Adobe Premiere, Insta has a plugin that will allow you to drag and drop INSVs and the Insta file format into your timeline and edit it as a legitimate video file. Otherwise, you're going to need to convert the files from Insta format to MP4. And in order to do that, we're going to use the Insta360 Studio. Now, this is Insta's desktop app. And as you can kind of see, it's more or less the desktop equivalent of the iPhone app. And there are a couple of the same features, and there are some export settings and touch-ups, including gyroscope stabilization. And you can also calibrate the file stitching, and this is probably the most useful. This is probably your most useful piece of information to use. And I'll give you an example. You notice how in this clip, I've got a little bit of ghosting right there on my arm. And we want to fix that by touching up the stitching. So let's choose a frame where the ghosting is most obvious. Hit Calibrate Stitching. We'll use the current one as a reference frame. So this is about 15 seconds in. Okay, so the moment you hit current frame, the app recalibrates the stitching according to what it sees. And we'll hit preview to see how the new configuration looks. And there we go. The ghosting is fixed. And the video format is basically a giant sphere. So you're going to want to click and drag the mouse to manipulate the image until it is where it should be. So feel free to play around with the clip until you've got it to the format that you want. All right, and when you're ready to convert and export, a couple things you'll need to do. Go down to Output Directory here and make sure that the file is being sent to a directory where you can find it easily, and give it a file name that you know you can find. And when you're ready, hit Export To. And as you can see, the Insta360 Studio is converting and exporting the clip into an MP4 format. And from there, you can drag it into whatever video editor you use.
And that should do it. You now have your 360 clips polished, edited together, and ready to go. Now there's only one more feature we have left to explore on the Insta, and that is live streaming. And I'll take you through all the basics on that in the next video. Until then, good luck with working with the equipment and the videos, and thank you again for watching.